Good morning. For the continuation of our report, here are the guidelines in designing visual. Where you are designing visual, you need to follow some guidelines to create a good design visual or to create a effective visual. Well-designed visual do not only promote learning of the subject matter, but also provide a statistic model for students' own creative growth. In designing visuals, students uh, enhance their creativeness in creating a, a good visual. Now, let's proceed to the guidelines in designing visual. First, the information or instructional purposes. In using this information instructional purposes in designing visual, we might minimize the text on each visual, which is maximum of 6 words. When we are in entering some text is 6 words or 6 line per visual, because pag marami yung inilagay nating text sa visual natin, hindi masyado maintindihan ng mga bata yung ibig sabihin ng nasa loob ng visual natin. And present a single concept in each visual, because pag halo-halo yung concept inside in our visual, magkakagulo yung ibig sabihin nung nakapaloob sa visual mo. And also, break down complex visual into simpler ones or build them step by step. As what I said earlier, the simple visual or the effective visual that we gonna make is be a tawag dito, maging epektibo ito sa mga bata kahit na ito simple, ngunit nauunawaan nila. Next. Next is graphic or picture element. Use visual that are not too abstract or too realistic. Its feeling of depth is important. Use other object to create a foreground. Use a rule to thirds. And also, use a scale of or common object to indicate size of unfamiliar object. Because using a picture or some graphics in visual can catch the attention of the students, but do not use some picture that is too much, dahil yung paglalagay ng dalawa o higit pang picture sa visual can affect the student to not focusing to your visual, and also ang papansin lang nila yung picture at hindi yung ibig sabihin ng nasa loob ng visual mo. Yan. Use bold or thick plain typeface, because in using a bold, some of bold typeface, you can when using of this, the students can understand more clearly the text that you enter or that you attach to the visual, because sometimes malabo po yung paningin minsan ng mga estudyante, and they cannot understand it clearly. And use graph to present data, because when you use graph, it is more clearly to understand the students what is the data present. Next is text or lettering elements. Avoid using many different typefaces on the same visual. As what I said, don't use some different typeface or text, because kailangan po natin maging presentable yung pagpapresent ng ating visual. Because the more presentable that we present to the children, madadala nila ito hanggang sa kanilang paglaki. Use italic or bold spaces, underline or color of emphasis. Use lowercase lettering and adding capitals only when normally required. Yan. When using this capitals only in type, use it in yung karapat-dapat lang pong paglagyan na kinakailangan kung capital ang unang letter at makikita ito ng estudyante, magagaya nila ito at magagaya. Madadala nila ito hanggang sa, ganito pala yung ginawa ni teacher, kailangan ganito rin kasi mahalagang paksa o mahalagang bagay na nakasulat. And also use bold space to the important tawag dito, yung importanteng paksa para malaman nila na this is important, kailangan ko tong tandaan, ganun. At lagyan din po natin ng kulay para po mas makakatch ng kanilang mata o ng kanilang eyes. Center the title top of visual. Yan. Kailangan po nating i-center the title because it easily to understand the students what the visual talks about. And also the spacing is important because it must more clearly to understand also the students the words because may tamang hiwalay ng mga words na nasa visual. Color. The color is, sinasabi nga na ang kulay ay ang nagbibigay buhay sa visual because dahil nga sa the color gives a life to the visual, you must use it in the proper way. Like use brightest and lightest color to focus attention on important elements. And also, use lettering and visual that contrast with background color. Yan. We might use the perfect or the perfect color to the that might contrast to the background because if we did not use a contrast color to the background, sometimes the color of the letters that we used, it cannot understand the student because pag ginamit po natin ay dark to dark, hindi po niya makikita masyado o hindi makikita ng estudyante o hindi nila maintindihan kung anong nakasulat dun sa iyong visual. Limit the number of colors on a visual. Yan. Kinakailangan po natin limitahan yung paggamit ng iba't ibang kulay dahil hindi naman po yung visual mo siguro ay parang rainbow na nandun lahat ng kulay. Sabi ko nga po, as what I said earlier, make your visual more presentable. Layout. Make visual as simple as possible. Like what I said, make it simple and presentable. Make sure your visual appear balanced. Use a horizontal format to overhead transparencies and slides. Make visual legible. Use planning layout. Kinakailangan po natin ng layout first to do a visual to make it perfect or to make it more yung mapapag-isipan po natin kung ano pong ilalagay. Now, let's proceed to the projected visual. This non-projected visual is more on object models, still pictures, field trips, and display materials. This visual that do not requires the use of equipment for projection. Uh, sa madaling salita po, itong non-projected visual is good teaching sometimes fails due to visual that are not suitable for the topic being discussed. Uh, the advantage of non-projected visual, uh, it can easily obtained, can be used without electricity, because as what I said, the non-projected visual is more on field trips, still models, and appropriate with those low budget. Can be used without much artistry ability, can be used in different levels of instruction and discipline, can be used to stimulate creative expression such as telling stories. The disadvantage of non-projected visual, it can be damaged easily with regular use, hard to store, and maybe too small for group viewing. Real objects or relaya. This one talks about that from the coins, plants, and animals are some of the most accessible materials for education to use. Uh, in kindergarten, the plants, the animals, they use it in contrasting, in drawing. So, These real objects or relaya is closely associated with the Dale's cones of experience. It is direct, purposeful experience. Real objects are ideal media for introducing learners to a new subject. Uh, these objects are real media for introducing learners to a new subject. Since these are real, students can touch them, smell, hear, view, open, disassemble, and reassemble them using any or all the senses of their body. Yung nahawakan po nila, nakikita, lahat po yun. It talks about the real objects or relaya. Model. It is a three-dimensional presentation of a person or thing. A model may be larger, smaller, or a same size as the object it represents. It may be complete with ideals or simplified by instructional purposes. Models can be commercially bought or can be teacher-made. A model is used to demonstrate something or explain a process or make a topic interesting. By using of the model, sometimes teacher use it to demonstrate some 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 topics to the students to understand the student clearly what are they talking about or what the teachers talk about. Like that. Techniques for using real objects and model by Henich. Familiarize yourself with the object or model before using it in the classroom. You might familiarize it because if you do not know the model or the object, you cannot di mo to maipaliwanag sa estudyante ng maayos. Practice how to use the object. If the object or model is a working one, know how it works, what may go wrong. Yan. You might practice it to how it is work or how might it how it might be do not work at all, and also to know that kung ano yung mga dapat at di dapat gawin sa model na iyon upang maiwasan yung pagkasira o yung maling gamit nito. Real object must be large enough to be seen by the class, but not too big or heavy as the distracting thing. When you are creating a real objects or model, you might maximize the big or the heavy of the object because if this is too big, hindi hindi masyado tong maaano ng estudyante para bang, ganito lang pala yun. Para bang makakatch mo nga yung attention ng students but they cannot understand what is the importance of that object or what the object talks about because the model is too distracting to them. Show or demonstrate an object by revealing it only when needed and covering it or putting it out of sight where it's no longer in use. Yan. When you are creating a model, you might present it or demonstrate it when it needed or when it is needed. And also, be sure your student don't get the wrong impression of the size, shape, or color of the real object if the model differs from it is case these respects. Walk around the classroom lively, show the object to everyone as so not distract the student. Passing off the object around the classroom of the student is not a good practice. Yun nga, kailangan mong i-present the model to everyone because sometimes hindi makikita ng student yung model na ginawa mo and in short, they did not understand what is the purpose or the importance of the model that you had. Mobile. A mobile is a three-dimensional material that is hang independently from the roof using defined trends. Meron pa pong hindi nakasama dun sa slides. Sasabihin ko na lang po. Still pictures and graphics. Yun na po. Advanced. Types of still graphics. Graphics are non-projector photographic or two-dimensional materials designed especially to communicate a message to a viewer. They often include verbal as a symbolic visual cues. There are 5 types of graphics according to H. Meron po dito yung drawing, sketch, and diagrams. Yun po yung tatlo. And drawings, sketch, and diagrams are graphic arrangement of lines and to present person, places, things, and concepts. Drawings because are more complete and realistic. Drawings are readily found in textbooks and other classroom materials. Drawings can use as a still graphics because the students can draw it because hindi ito nagalaw at makukuha nila yung tamang tansya or sometimes hindi siya tama pero nakukuha niya yung ibig sabihin o naiipinta niya yung ibig sabihin ng graphics. A sketch usually involved is a pencil to create figures or pictures. Ayun yung pagsususog or yun nga po pagsususog. Stick figures composition are sketches. Sketches are typically crested as a primarily to drawing. Magkatulad lang po yung sketch and drawing. But the sketch sometimes ay sinususog or Anything that ang gamit ay pencil, katulad sa drawing, pero ang drawing po ay hindi siya sinususog. That's all po. Thank you.